Look at your smartphone. This pocket-sized supercomputer, right? We've been fed a myth that human progress is a simple, linear march, from the cave to the wheel to steam to AI, a neat, predictable ascent. Suppose that entire narrative is a convenient fiction. Perhaps history isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. Imagine an entire, sprawling city near ancient Babylon, a place we thought was just empty desert for millennia, revealing itself, not through a dusty shovel, but through the ghost of a thermal shadow, a subtle anomaly caught by a remote-sensing satellite 400 miles up. We are about to uncover how impossible precision, automated water systems, and even city-wide climate control appeared thousands of years too early. We'll see how satellite data and ground-penetrating radar mapped a hidden metropolis, an urban legend brought to screaming life by pure physics and relentless data analysis. Our journey begins not with an ancient scroll, but with a signal from orbit. AI-enhanced remote sensing picked up something impossible near the cradle of civilization, a geometric pattern, miles wide, etched into the desert floor. It is not a ruin, visible to the naked eye, but a blueprint, a precise grid spanning an area the size of a modern city district. The layout is far too regular, too perfectly aligned to be any natural formation. Now, the usual suspect surface: Atlantis, aliens, forgotten magic. Let's be clear, this wasn't magic. It was physics. Picture a massive tarp draped over a perfectly square, low-rise building. The tarp settles, but the subtle, underlying structure creates a barely perceptible ripple on its surface. Elevate your perspective. From hundreds of miles up, illuminated by the low, raking desert sun, that faint disturbance casts a long, revealing shadow. That's what our satellites captured, the ghostly outline of an entire buried city, its precise infrastructure, creating micro-elevations just enough to be seen from orbit. The profound question isn't what is it, but where did it go? How could a civilization build something so vast, so geometrically perfect, only for it to vanish so utterly from human record, leaving only a spectral shadow for a machine to find millennia later? That satellite anomaly wasn't a fluke. Drone surveys confirmed the discovery, a sprawling geometric pattern beneath the desert. These are not just scattered walls, but an entire planned urban grid stretching for square miles. This wasn't some organic village. It was a monumental feat of ancient engineering, a complex municipal blueprint laid out with impossible precision. Naturally, the romantics jump to lost civilizations, psychic blueprints, or some form of forgotten magic. Discard those notions. Observe the evidence. This was pure applied geometry, but on a scale that still makes modern engineers scratch their heads. They didn't have laser levels. Imagine you're trying to lay out the foundation for a skyscraper, not just one, but an entire district of them, all perfectly aligned across an area the size of Washington, D.C. They used ropes, plumb bobs, water-filled trenches for dead-level lines, and an almost obsessive understanding of cardinal directions, constructing a modern highway system, not just a few miles, but hundreds of miles of perfectly straight roads, with nothing but string and a spirit level, yet achieving absolute perfect alignment for kilometers, is a profound tribute to their planning, their mathematical prowess, and their sheer physical coordination. The real puzzle remains: how did they maintain that insane degree of accuracy over such immense distances, without total stations, without GPS, without any of the advanced surveying equipment we take for granted today? The sheer logistical coordination, the massive human effort required to sustain that precision across an entire city-sized footprint, is genuinely mind-bending. It makes you wonder what kind of societal structure, what kind of centralized power demanded and enabled such meticulous, vast-scale construction, only for it to disappear so completely. Ground-level confirmation was compelling, but it only scratched the surface. To truly peel back the layers of time, we deployed LiDAR here, The narrative shifts from something's there to an indisputable what's there. The data returned was a jolt, not just isolated structures, but a complete, intricate urban fabric, residential zones, civic plazas, a complex web of thoroughfares and colossal public works. This wasn't a collection of ruins. It was a fully realized city, simply waiting beneath the soil. Dismiss the romantic notions of ancient maps drawn by mystical forces. LiDAR is pure, unadulterated physics. It operates by firing millions of laser pulses per second, each one measuring the exact time it takes to reflect back. And this creates an incredibly dense, three-dimensional point cloud, mapping every single surface feature. Picture a doctor's MRI, but for the entire landscape, we digitally strip away the dense jungle canopy, even the top layers of Earth, revealing the architectural blueprint of a metropolis lost for millennia with astonishing clarity. It functions like an X-ray for the terrain, unveiling foundations, pathways, and even individual dwellings with uncanny precision. Consider the implications. We possess the precise layout of an entire ancient metropolis, perfectly preserved, yet utterly vanished from memory. The true residual itch isn't if they built it or how they built it. It's why this magnificent urban center, teeming with life and advanced planning, was so profoundly buried and forgotten that its very existence faded into myth, leaving only the faintest digital echo for our technology to discover. What cataclysm, what societal shift could erase an entire city from the human consciousness? With the raw LiDAR data in hand, our AI went to work. Here is where the impossible truly started to, surface. The system didn't just map simple channels, it detected subtle, recurring patterns within the city's infrastructure that screamed automation. We're talking about an automated aqueduct system, managing flow and distribution across the entire urban footprint. Beyond that, the software flagged unusual subsurface chambers and vent structures, hinting at something far more audacious: ancient climate control. Forget the legends of mythical gods providing endless water or cool breezes. Our AI, trained on millions of modern engineering schematics and vast datasets of fluid dynamics, saw the undeniable truth. Observe. This wasn't magic, it was physics. The algorithm identified precise, engineered gradients in the water channels, indicative of sophisticated flow control and pressure regulation. Visualize the complex plumbing network of a modern skyscraper, but scaled to an entire city, thousands of years before we thought possible. Then it found these interconnected chambers. Based on thermodynamics, these could have functioned as passive evaporative coolers, using natural air currents and water evaporation to channel cool, dense air downwards into buildings. Others appeared to be pure light conduits, efficiently piping ambient sunlight into subterranean structures, illuminating spaces without a single flame. Picture a smart home. Yes, but one extended to an entire metropolis, operating solely on gravity, convection, and brilliant material science. No pumps, no power grids, just an elegant, city-wide system born from a deep understanding of their environment. The real question that gnaws at us, the one that keeps us digging: how did such advanced hydrological and climate engineering, demanding a profound grasp of physics and a vast, coordinated societal effort, simply vanish? Why did this knowledge, this comfort, this mastery become utterly lost to history, leaving only these silent, buried echoes for our machines to find? The combined data doesn't just suggest isolated marvels. It paints a comprehensive portrait of a city operating with the integrated efficiency and comfort of a modern metropolis. We're talking about a citywide climate regulation system, a truly ancient, smart grid designed for urban living. Visualize entire districts experiencing controlled temperatures and abundant natural light. Before you jump to a lost continent or whispered tales of extraterrestrial blueprints, let's ground this in reality. Forget fantastical energy sources or impossible unknown technology. This was pure, elegant physics, applied at a societal scale. Picture this: massive, strategically engineered underground channels running for miles beneath the city's surface. These weren't just simple drains, they were sophisticated air conduits. They drew in cooler air, sometimes from higher elevations, sometimes utilizing the principle of evaporative cooling from the aqueduct's vast water system, exactly like a giant passive swamp. Cooler in a dry climate, this denser, chilled air then circulated through a network of subterranean vents, delivering measurable comfort to public buildings, workshops, and even elite residences. It's like your home's central air conditioning, but powered entirely by natural convection and water. Observe the light. Instead of just small, inefficient windows, intricate light shafts and highly reflective surfaces served a functional purpose. They actively channeled ambient daylight deep into multi-story structures, illuminating vast interior spaces without the associated heat of torches or open flames. It's the ultimate passive smart grid, a systems-level approach to urban living, leveraging natural forces with astonishing precision. Consider the puzzle. The real, nagging question: if a city could achieve this level of comfort, this profound efficiency, thousands of years before our textbooks suggest it was remotely possible, why isn't every ancient ruin across the region filled with these exact same systems? The mystery isn't could they, it's why didn't it spread? Face the brutal truth, the real shocker. The question isn't if they achieved this level of comfort and engineering, it's why such brilliance remained an isolated marvel, never spreading across the ancient world. The answer isn't some lost secret technology or a sudden devastating war. It's far more mundane and far more devastating: economics, logistics, and power. Reflect on our own world. Think about the energy and resources needed for a modern super dam or a major metropolitan subway system. Imagine the constant maintenance, thousands of personnel, endless materials. That's precisely the scale of commitment these ancient smart cities demanded. This wasn't magic, it was a matter of mechanics, and mechanics on this scale demands immense, continuous investment. The initial capital outlay for such an integrated urban system: aqueducts, climate controls, light, conduits, infrastructure, would have been astronomical. We're talking thousands of laborers, specialized knowledge, materials from vast distances. Yet, that was merely the beginning. Ongoing operational costs, constant maintenance, clearing silt, repairing conduits. It was a relentless drain. They didn't need miracles. They required margins. A slight shift in political power, a single season of poor harvests, a disruption in trade, and those economic margins would vanish. When the central authority funding this colossal undertaking weakened, the city's advanced systems collapsed. It wasn't a sudden, cataclysmic event, but a slow, agonizing suffocation of resources. The city didn't just get buried, its underlying economic model became unsustainable. Abandonment occurred, piece by piece, as the cost of comfort outweighed the capacity to maintain it. This isn't a story of alien intervention or divine wrath. Rather, it serves as a stark testament to the profound fragility of advanced societies. When the economic and political will to sustain their complexity falters, they built wonders, only to find them too expensive to keep. We have unearthed a marvel, not with a pickaxe, but with photons from orbit and the cold, unyielding logic of AI. A city that once boasted precision planning, automated water systems, even passive climate control, all thousands of years before any textbook dared to suggest it was possible. History isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. Flashes of brilliant, almost impossible technology, followed by societal loss, catastrophic resets, and knowledge simply forgotten. What we discovered here wasn't supernatural. It was pure, unadulterated physics, applied with profound genius and immense resources. However, when those resources inevitably faltered, the city became a ghost, its advanced systems falling silent, consumed by the relentless march of time and neglect. Now, consider the perspective of archaeologists. 5 millennia from now, they deploy their own advanced remote sensing, using satellite shadows to map the ghost of our smart cities buried beneath the dust and the slow creep of the earth. They find our vast fiber optic networks, our automated grids, our climate-controlled structures. Eventually, they will ask the very same question we posed. The mystery isn't, could they? It's, why didn't it spread? If their advanced civilization, their brilliance, could be lost to time, what makes us so certain ours won't?